Hello, welcome to another Christy Crypto video. Today, these are my two favorite altcoins going forward into 2021. These are the two altcoins that I have fallen in love with. I try to explain why I've fallen in love with them and the power that these cryptocurrencies are going to have going forward for the next decades, not just this year, but for decades and beyond. And I want you to know that although I am explaining these cryptocurrencies, I am not a programmer, I am not a developer, I am not a millionaire investor. I am just a minimum wage worker that's just getting his opinion and getting his very low quality opinion on these cryptocurrencies out there. And in making these videos, I get to learn a lot. This is that's as good as my development gets, okay? So that's the person that you are listening to right now. With all that being said, it's up to you if you subscribe. It's up to you if you like. Down below, I've got links to a better fiat on-ramp for you to get your money into cryptocurrency, into stable coins. Use SWISSBORG. You can get a lottery ticket for up to $100 of Bitcoin for free. Links down below for that. Educational links down below for everything. With all that being said, let's roll the intro and getting into my uneducated opinion. Roll it. So why is everyone talking about Cardano? Why am I contemplating getting Cardano nipples tattoos? Well, in my opinion, Cardano is the best proof of stake coin out there. If you don't know about proof of stake and proof of work and the differences, then you need to go and figure it out. You should not be investing in cryptocurrencies if you do not know the difference between them. I've been invested in cryptocurrencies since 2017 and I got wrecked hard on coins that would say that they're going to be proof of stake, and then they would have a separate coin for gas, and it was just a nightmare. And in my head, I use Neo as an example because they have gas and they have Neo, and it's just not great. There's no stickiness to it. It's literally you just hold your Neo in a wallet and then you get given gas, and it's just, when Shelly came out with Cardano and they implemented proof of stake and you could delegate to a stake pool operator and they had the incentivized testnet, everything was just smooth. Everything was just like head and shoulders against everything else in the market. And that's when I realized, yes, Cardano is going to be a huge player in this space. I'm sure that clicked for a lot of people that were invested in Cardano when the incentivized testnet came out. That's when you really saw the community start to grow. So yeah, easily the best proof of stake in blockchain at the moment. Now, the fact that Cardano has a fixed supply of 45 billion is pretty huge as well. Ethereum doesn't actually have a fixed supply at the moment. I know they're implementing things to make Ethereum deflationary, but that's all a bit of a hullabaloo at the moment, and there's a bit of uncertainty. And I just think billionaire investors are going to look at that and be like, that seems a bit more risky for me to put millions and billions of my dollars into that. Whereas with Cardano, we know what the inflation rate is, and we know that there's going to be 45 billion full ADAs in existence, and it just provides more certainty, making Cardano and ADA a scarce asset. Much more appealing to me anyway. Now, as I was saying, the delegation for your Cardano into a stake pool operator is so easy to do. For doing that, you get rewarded 5% on your initial delegation if you stake to a good pool, or a relatively okay pool. Most of the pools will provide 5%. Some will provide more, some will provide less, depending on stake pool operators' specs. And it's very easy to find a good stake pool operator out there. So currently we're on about 31 billion Cardano in existence, with a fixed supply of 45 billion. The newly minted Cardano goes to the stake pool operators and to the delegators. And this happens every 5 days in an epoch. An epoch lasts 5 days. You will get given your rewards for delegating to your stake pool operator's pool, and it will equate to roughly 5% a year, split down into those epochs or epics. The inflation rate of Cardano is roughly the same as Bitcoin, but rather than having the halving every 4 years like Bitcoin has, where it suddenly drops off and there's half the amount of new Bitcoins coming out, which causes these crazy sharp price rises, which is good for people to be like, oh, price going up, but it's also bad for huge volatility. It's also bad for the miners because of their revenue is just going to get cut in half. And I can see it being a huge hit for miners every single time the halving comes around. And then they have to have the big decline in price again. And there's a lot of uncertainty there for miners when the halving hits. Whereas Cardano has a slow decay in the inflation rate is a slow decay rather than a quick cut-off. Everything works perfectly with a clear roadmap on further decentralization, and the wallets that provide these staking services and delegation are Yoroi and Daedalus, and both of these are amazing. I think anyone could operate a Daedalus wallet or a Yoroi wallet and easily stake to a stake pool operator and earn that 5% a year on a scarce asset. I mean, that is so appealing. I think that's super appealing to any huge investor or to any everyday person that's just looking to get a good interest better than a bank account. And a new person that is exploring the cryptocurrency space and downloading wallets and figuring out what cryptocurrency they want to invest in, I think they're just going to naturally fall to Cardano because these wallets are so easy to use and so easy to delegate. Now, because the ecosystem is so strong, we have stake pool operators that are some are quite technically good with producing apps and programming. Then we also have third-party apps coming out, such as Portal, where you can actually see what your rewards are going to be. You can see all the other stake pools out there, and these stake pool operators are going to be looking at building other things on top of Cardano, such as DeFi applications and any business that you can think where a third party is getting in the way and innovation can occur, then you'll see it built on top of Cardano. These guys can also market to the community, and these guys can actually be voted to be given money from Project Catalyst, which is a fund which is to help innovation built on Cardano, and it's building business. It's just like a self-running ecosystem. It's just going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger over time as these apps come out. Especially in developing countries without good infrastructure, I think Cardano is just going to come in and completely change developing countries, like countries in Africa, where on-chain identity and on-chain business and supply chain management and decentralized infrastructure will really push forward over the next 10 years and completely change developing countries. It's fairly easy to become a stake pool operator yourself. All you need is the right hardware, or you can even use Amazon Web Services. You can even pay someone. I know the person that I delegate to, who is who runs Bloom. He will offer to set up a stake pool for you as well. So if I wanted to, for where I live, I was actually thinking if I set up a stake pool, market it where I live, and I could attract people where I live to get involved in Cardano, earn that 5% a year. I think going on into the future, that's going to be quite a big market of stake pools, is doing local delegation to local areas, because then people know the person that they're delegating to, and marketing can be a lot easier in local areas. So it's very easy to become a stake pool operator if you wanted to. Now, this is a good thing to have, because the more stake pool operators we have, the more decentralized the network becomes, the stronger Cardano's security is. The Cardano community as well is very non-toxic. If you look at other communities such as XRP, if you look at XRP Army or the Link Marines, they can be pretty full on. I've not really seen, I think the Cardano community is more inviting, and I don't think there's any toxicity. There's no toxicity because everything's there. We have the best in the space. We don't need to get in people's faces and try and get people in. It's just, once you get involved in Cardano, you see how great it is. I think the community is more there to help people if they have any questions. And the main reason why I think this is because other communities such as XRP or Link is that they can't actually do much with their coins. There's not really a community like we have with stake pool operators and everything. It's like they hold their Link and they just keep it in that whatever wallet they keep it in, because Link's an ERC20 coin, or even XRP, you just hold it in your wallet. I don't even know what wallets there are for XRP. And then you just go and shout and get people to try and buy your coin. There's nothing you can do with your coin. There's no, I mean, the community is just all holding a coin, whereas in Cardano, we are delegating to a stake pool. There might be a struggling stake pool in Africa that people are like, okay, go delegate to these, give them some business, because I think with these other coins, there's not the business there. With Cardano, there is a business. It has the stickiness, whereas with these other coins, it's just shouting, buy my coin, it's going up. I understand that these coins do have utility like Link, but it's like, what does the everyday investor do by holding that? It's just we've got the stickiness in Cardano. We actually have a reason for the community to come together and grow. The teams that are building on top of Cardano communicate really well with what's going on as well. It feels like you are in the loop. They don't owe you this. I know coins that are very bad. One example would be PundiX. That was an awful investment of mine. I lost a lot of money on PundiX back in 2017. And again, it just highlights to me the differences between businesses and how a business communicates with its community. And you can see that with Cardano, we have the Catalyst Roundtable, we have IOG monthly updates, we have all the developers that are building on Cardano constantly putting out videos of them just talking about things. And even me, as someone that has no programming background at all, can understand things that are going on, and they really put in the extra effort to make people understand and build a more intelligent community. And lastly is Charles. He is a quality CEO, constantly putting out videos, AMAs, or just talking about subjects that have got nothing to do with cryptocurrency, putting out his opinions and his thoughts, and not holding back on saying things and his thoughts. And he's out there pushing, like trying to tweet at Jack Dorsey saying that we can build something better than Twitter for all the problems that's going on now. And I know that billionaires and millionaires invest in people. From listening to the Pomp podcast, I listen to these billionaires that are like on the outskirts of the space, and they're looking at CEOs, they're looking at who to invest in. It's more about people for them. They can see someone that's just talking a load of nonsense, or someone that's actually got the good stuff. They can tell where the good stuff is at. And it's easy to see that Charles has got the good stuff. If you're not following Charles on YouTube or Twitter, I would advise going to look at him. He's always got a good, educated opinion on something, and I'm glad that I found him, to be honest, because he is a great educator, and he's been in this space for years and years and years, educating from the beginning. So these are the main reasons why I have invested in Cardano. And going forward, there's going to be so many things built on top of Cardano with DeFi and all things like this, then it's a no-brainer for me where my money should be parked, or should I say staked. Now, Ergo is a completely different blockchain to any other cryptocurrency you would have seen before. They have a real vision of a sustainable long-term blockchain, which is all about decentralization, which is demanding of extremely useful decentralized applications and real-world use cases. There is a lot going on in this cryptocurrency, and it's kind of hard for me to explain, but there's so much content out there for you to consume yourself and get your own view on it that I would recommend doing it. I will leave links down below for everything for you to go and take in this information for yourself. But I will do my best to explain what I understand of Ergo and the reason why I've chosen to invest in it. To begin with, Ergo is a proof of work blockchain. Similar to Bitcoin, it uses computer power and miners. There will only ever be 98 million Ergos in existence. We're currently at 30 million, so about a third of the supply. And the main difference to any other cryptocurrency that I have seen so far, any other proof of work cryptocurrency that I've seen, is the fact that these coins will be fully mined in the next 8 years. Now, the reason for this I will get into in a second. The other thing is Ergo never had a pre-mine. If you were around in 2017 and you got involved in a few ICOs, you would have seen that companies kept some coins for themselves, and they ended up dumping those coins straight away, profited on the retail investors, dumping on retail investors, and not really doing anything with the coins. Whereas Ergo have started from block one, no pre-mine. But what they have done is for the first 2.5 years, they have been putting a small amount of ERG every single block into a treasury to fund development on Ergo. But this cryptocurrency has no pre-mine. It is a fair launch coin, just like Bitcoin. So what happens when we get to a full emittance of all of the ERGs in existence? Well, any coins that have been lost will recycle back into the economy and back to miners. Unlike Bitcoin, if Bitcoins get lost in a wallet, then that's it. It adds to the scarcity of Bitcoin. And eventually, when we get to the year 2140, when all Bitcoins have been mined and beyond, we'll probably see less than 10 million coins maybe in existence. It depends how well people look after their Bitcoins. And there's a lot of uncertainty what's going to happen for miners when we get there, in terms of there won't be any more newly minted Bitcoins, and it's going to rely on fees from transactions. But I think there's a lot of uncertainty as to what's going to happen when we get to the end of all of the Bitcoins being mined. Whereas with Ergo, we'll know in 8 years what's going to happen, and we're going to see if it can sustain itself with its use and utility. Think of it as like the miners are getting a paid for storage, as almost like a storage fee for confirming transactions and also for any lost coins. It's like a recycle economy. Another great fact of Ergo is the fact that it is ASIC resistant to mining. So we won't end up with huge centralized mining farms that makes it difficult for the everyday person to get involved in the mining of Erg and the confirming of transactions, and also getting that storage fee. You can just use a CPU and you can be involved, and you can set up your own mining rig, which is something that I actually want to learn how to do. I've never mined anything in my life. I only got a PC this year. I was on a MacBook before, but this is super interesting stuff to me, and it's just something to learn about, something that I'm interested in, and I probably will end up getting involved somehow in this, just because I feel like the barrier to entry in this is quite low. It's just something that I find interesting. So similar to Monero, the mining for Ergo will stay spread out to CPU miners. Another very redeemable quality of Ergo is the fact that we have headless dApps. Now, I've never heard anything about these before in the cryptocurrency space in the 4 years that I've been here. Just like a lot of things that Ergo are doing, these are completely new things that I have never seen before. So headless dApps allow a smart contract developer to put together all the complicated back-end stuff and link all different smart contracts together, and then allows a front-end developer to, do the easier part of the development and building the interfaces for people to interact with these smart contracts. And it brings these two together, so you get the front-end developer and the back-end, the more advanced back-end stuff, brings it together, and then what can happen is that whoever created the front end of this dApp can pay the person that created the back end, and again decentralizes the building process of applications that are built on top of Ergo, and both parties can get paid from their work, which I can imagine is super appealing to any developers out there from many different levels up and down the board of developers. Ergo is also working on a decentralized stablecoin, which we will find out more on the Ergo Summit coming out on the 23rd. I'm pretty sure the 23rd. I want to say the 23rd, maybe the 24th of this month. And I've seen a little bit on that, seen Altcoin Buzz write a little article on that. So I am super excited to see that stablecoin come out. It's going to be a stablecoin to rival all stablecoins in the market, and again will throw Ergo in the face of everybody. We also have Oracle pools, which again I have never heard about before. I heard Robert talking on a video, and it makes sense to group together different oracles and then give that Oracle pool a reputation rather than just having a single data point. You can have multiple data points inside of a pool. That whole thing makes sense to me. Definitely worth googling for you to get a better understanding of that. And if you Google, literally just write in Oracle pools into Google, you'll see that the only people that come up is Emergo and Ergo. And we already have a couple of Oracle pools already working, and that is to follow the price of Cardano to USD and Ergo to USD, I think. We also have the Ergo auction house, where you can actually sell digital NFTs. NFTs are going to be a big player in the next decade, completely changing how companies and businesses and bands and just how anyone that wants to create a one-of-a-kind digital product, they can build it on top of Ergo. We have the Ergo auction house where you can actually bid on this product. And going forward in the next few years, I can see that building and becoming a lot bigger in the space. Again, if you're in the cryptocurrency space, you should know about NFTs by now. And lastly, again, the CEO, Alex Cherpanoy, whose nickname is Kushi or Kushti, which is funny because I'm Kushti Crypto, has a lot of experience in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. Previously worked at smartcontract.com, which has become the behemoth Chainlink. Was also working at IOG or IOHK for a while, one of the companies behind building Cardano. So I think he's kind of a dark horse in the crypto space, and now has come to build his version of a cryptocurrency, which seems like it's going to be super powerful. I think he's seen problems in the space, and I think he's created his baby. I think this is going to perform very well, and will be a world-changing cryptocurrency. This is, like I said, this is the first of a kind that I've seen. These are all completely new terms to me. I'm not someone that's, you know, super clued up on cryptocurrencies, but I've been following the space for 4 years and I've not seen anything like this before. I'm sure you are, if you're someone that was joined in 2017, I'm sure all of these things are completely new to you as well. And that kind of leads me to the end of this video. I would love if anyone has anything extra to add, leave below. I would also really want to learn more about Ergo myself and be able to explain things better and explain how these are such powerful innovations better. I'm sure, like a lot of people in the space, you feel like you do not know enough, or you feel underqualified to even talk on these subjects. But the only way we can learn is by saying these things and then getting information back, or as the space grows, we'll see more and more educational content, and it will just be, you won't even need to know this stuff, you'll just be using the dApps. But for me, I like getting a bit more of an understanding. And if being early to these being early to this technology as well comes with a barrier of understanding it, and I think those are the people that really benefit, not the people that wait for things to be built and for products to already be there and for millions of people to already be using the products. That's not where the value is captured. The value is captured before these people get there. And we're starting to see, well, we are seeing this with Bitcoin, we're seeing this with these altcoins, we're seeing this with Ethereum now, with these huge explosions in price. I mean, DeFi, I didn't even touch on DeFi and Ergo. It's just, yeah, you need to look into Ergo yourself. And apologies if you think that I've not explained things clearly here, but like I said, I'm just a minimum wage worker that's trying to get an understanding on this space. I've been in this space for 4 years and still I know 0.001%, so it's quite a barrier, especially for someone that's not a programmer or anything like that. But that's all I got for this video. I appreciate you sticking around and listening to me ramble all this time. Hit like, hit subscribe. Hopefully you've learned something. That's all I really want to do, is just try and get someone to learn something a bit extra. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully next time I come with something a bit more understandable. Goodbye.